Right, what's up guys? Time for another video, and I decided to make this one while it's on my mind because I talk about this one a lot. I'm just not somebody that's some paranoid person making videos. I have real life reasons for this, you know, whatever walk of life, whether you wear a suit or dress shirt to work or whatever, or if you're different levels of people that play this game. This is what I want to talk about. So anybody that wants to make any comments about something and then don't answer, then troll comment, but yet don't answer me back when I ask you by what authority do you say this, or what moral, or by what moral platform, or by what daddy, in the name of what daddy, or moral platform, social, what do you call it, social norm, by, you know, what, you know, when I ask you by what platform or in whose authority or what more platform do you speak this, do you tell me this and why, and you don't answer me, you know, don't even waste your time. You right off the bat, if you don't got an answer at all for me or any kind of shitty answer or that you can give me, then you can go fuck a porcupine straight off the bat, you know what I mean? But this one I want to tell you about the gaslighting, or they call it gaslighting and gang stalking, but this is a thing where people like to twist the meaning of stuff. I want to talk about the, you know how they tell people you got to take responsibility, and people say that in derogatory or sarcastic remarks, and we all know to a point that what really it's supposed to mean, you know. But then, you know, from childhood, if you have, like, you know, parents or family members that read the Bible and are Bible thumpers, but they have an ashtray next to the Bible and they scream, swear, and chain smoke, and then yet, or you got other places, people in workplaces later when you get older, oh, you got to take responsibility. Okay, what it's supposed to mean is, say you and me were friends, you know, whether it's they're both black or white or whatever race, or if you and me were relatives or friends, right? And something got blown out of proportion, or if there was a he said, she said thing, or say something happened in person, you know, that there's a misunderstanding. There's a thing about, you know, you can see people halfway, or just say, admit to something, say, well, I said this, but I meant it this way, not this way. Or there are some cases that no matter how you say something, you're damned either way. People are looking for wrong. Like the conversation with Dave Mustaine and Alex Jones, you know, even though you may not like Alex Jones, you know, I'm not here to bring him up, but there was a quote that I saw in that video where he said that people are looking for ways to be offended, and you can be just a person walking around minding your own business or doing your job at a workplace. People, or anybody that has some kind of authority over you, or claims they have some kind of authority over you, whatever rank or seniority or anything in life or anywhere, that thing about taking responsibility. Yeah, there is a taking responsibility to say, God forbid if you willfully do shit, but there is the people that will try to say this shit to you about taking responsibility. They're willfully being ignorant. You know, when you see about the videos about gaslighting and gang stalking, people will twist that, you know what I mean? Twist it completely around. And just because they gather a mob, or because they have some kind of badge of authority or some kind of title, they'll literally use that authority to harass people, like that since they're the ones that are never wrong, you know what I mean? And in there's cases where this so-called taking responsibility is a code for lay down and take it, you know, like and shit like that. And that's where the harassment comes in, the taking responsibility. Somebody will accuse you of something out of nowhere, or to play games with you because maybe you're afraid of losing your job, or afraid of losing a social standing, or you got different people that you're friends of, maybe other races involved, and you'll get a shit starter, and there's somebody somewhere that has a rank over you, and you have to tell them. You got to know how to smartly rebuke somebody and call bullshit in a way that you got to almost tell them, oh, wait a minute, I'm not even going to go there with you because I know what you're going to try to say. And yeah, in this these kind of gaslighting too, another tactic, and instead of saying this in a whole new video, I can say a whole new video about this move. What they do is when you try to say, oh, I ain't going there with you because you state a case, even when they're through talking, you know, you'll play the thing, wait a minute, I wasn't done talking yet, or you think they're done talking, and all of a sudden they chime in, you know, they'll do that. Or they'll just yell and raise their voice right over top of you, and then you try to say your case again and again. You can do it 3 or 4. Then you'll have to go to them, hey, are you going to, what, you going to yell on top of me when I try to explain you something in a civilized manner? Hey, if that's what it takes, I'll keep trying to say my thing 5, 10, 15 times. What are you going to do? But if they're in an authority somewhere, they'll either, they can throw you out of somewhere or have you escorted out of somewhere. That's if it's, I'm trying to give you the round estimate if it's a professional place where, like in a lot of cases, there's these things where, yeah, even though I'm this, whatever you see me here as, right, this person with a ponytail or long hair, he'd be weirdo. Or if you're somebody that believes like I do, that's of another race that maybe has dreadlocks or dresses a certain way, that would be like some friends I have out there in the places that I've worked in. And you got to deal with people that yelling over top of people, or you got to say, I'm not going to go there with you. When you catch them and call bullshit, and then they do the yelling over top of you tactic, there is a thing, because when I'm bringing my personal appearance into play here, I actually know a legal system enough where I actually was on a jury and things like that, believe it or not. What I want to say about how a legal system comes in and, you know, lawsuits and different things, and that turns into harassment lawsuits, or, you know, lawsuits due to this or that. I'm not talking about that so much as I want to use that as a metaphor for other examples where if it's a court thing that you're entitled to a lawyer, you get a lawyer and the other side gets a lawyer. But in other situations where it does not become legal yet, whether it's out there or in the street or in a workplace that it doesn't become legal yet, where it's between people, or somebody calling you into an office somewhere, or you could be a younger kid watching this in the school being called to the office, or somebody even goes to the point where tries to say you're crazy or over it, play that card, which you got to watch what you say, don't threaten anything, where somebody will try to give you a psyche exam. And these are situations where I want to bring, when legal comes into it, before it becomes a court thing, there's the way they try to get away with shit is, in these scenarios, unlike the thing that turns into a legal thing later, okay, if it's between you and people, where even in a situation like that, they try to get around it where, yeah, you in a situation like that, you're in, have a right to a defense, whether you're a defense in your own, when you be accused of something, if you're called in the office in the workplace. You don't have, they know that when you try to talk about your rights, hey, wait a minute, I have a right to state my case whether you listen or not. There's no lawyer, you know what I mean? A lawyer comes into play later, you could threaten a lawyer, but people know when they play these tactics that there is other situations in life where they think they can get away with it, because you can't invoke a right to have a defense or a lawyer, and people, and it can get ugly in a sense that outside of workplace, whether they want to have you physically escorted or call cops, or God forbid you actually have any kind of a thing where it gets loud and you're accused of, you know, there's a lot of things to don't do, you know what I mean? We know that. But then when you're out there, or, you know, whether it's in the street or neighbors or something, and people with any situation, you know, because I see all this stuff on the TV news that neighbors get into arguments and people end up, you don't want to see happen. And it usually escalates when the one side, you know, don't let the other side speak. They want to believe what they want to believe no matter what. And when what you're being accused of, they're accusing it no matter what. You know that the so-called the people in authority will do this to you. You got to take responsibility. That means lay down and take it. And different kind of people, whether it's in a professional environment or a street-like environment or any other kind of environment out there or even in warehouses, it's like a street environment, so to speak, because, you know, some people that are intelligent and swear too, they don't see you as having a right to a benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to outline to you the right to a defense and the right to an attorney is the same way, metaphorically, as a right to a benefit of the doubt. You know, outline a scenario and be fair. But the people that don't want to be fair, they raise their voice every time you try to state your case. You can do it 3 or 4 times and they yell more. And some of them are the ones that are more educated than you, in a more professional position, that pull that. And they think, oh, these people love me and I got this respectable standing. I can get away with anything I please. Celebrities do it. Political people do it. People in authority do it. And some of them are the ones that end up finally getting busted for doing bad stuff in the actual law, so to speak. You hear about them on the news and they think they're untouchable, how they treat people, and then they get caught doing certain things that are against the law. And that is why in a lot of cases that we rejoice when we hear it on the news. And some of this shit we hear on the news, certain people getting busted for things. We see that those are the people that will stick their fingers in our face and tell us what we better to do, and they're hypocrites. And when you find out in the news that they got caught for something, we're like, yeah, man, fuck you, buddy, yeah, fuck you, yeah, who needs to take responsibility now, motherfucker, yeah, that's, you know, so there you go, you know what I mean? And then these are the ones that they don't want you to be intelligent. They want to egg you on to threatening things, which I see on the news. I say, don't do these things. Don't let anybody make you fly off the handle and say, you're gonna, you know, do this or that, which kids are still doing this in emails and in social media in a school, and they take that seriously. And you can't get away. Don't do that shit. Don't do it online. Don't do it out there. And it's bad enough already that authorities could act on it if somebody's lying, they say, you know, too. And again, and that becomes a literal thing where if somebody is lying and you know they're lying, you have a right to a lawyer. And sometimes people that do gaslighting and gang stalking, the harassers actually are under the cover of the guise of so-called witnesses, you know what I mean? So just like a friend of mine, a black gentleman that I worked with, a wonderful black gentleman I worked next to in a particular job that, in a particular construction house job, he said this the best way possible. And when you got people with friends of other races that understand this, this is good. He couldn't have said it any better than me. He says, the things that you do and activities you do and things you want to do, and throw volunteer work in there too, and do things where people know your whereabouts, you know, in case they lie. And I was like, thank you. You know, so yes, I give somebody of another race that I know very well credit for the statement too. He said it better than me, but that's just what it is, you know. If people play games with you because of whatever, you know. If you're of another color watching this, just like any of my friends, and they do this shit to you, whether you have dreads or whether you don't have dreads, and it is that, shame on them. You know, white people ain't all like that, you know. And if somebody else, you know, does that, you're something else, for whatever reason, whatever position they're in, shame on them, you know. People of a religion that play games, you know, that they're socially respectable, but then they have prejudice against certain people, and they'll get you by yourself and have like this fuck you attitude, but only they have a different way of saying it. They can make statements or remarks or whatever they feel like it. Shame on them. Even though I am about religion, I remember seeing a Christian dude on YouTube that adjusted years ago, adjusted comments like that, and he goes, "We are not all like that." Which, yes, to be fair, if you're even a Christian, you can say, if anybody has a complaint that somebody's behaving like that, you know, yes, you can. Well, somebody that looks like me too, I could say this, and somebody comes to me and says, "Oh yeah, you kind of like this." I could say, "Well, we're not all like that," you know, and it's the truth, you know what I mean? But But yet people will play this game, oh, you got to take responsibility as a derogatory or harassment term. And taking responsibility is supposed to mean, and there's this other kind of people that play these games, the take responsibility is a code for lay down and take it. Don't dare try to call bullshit when we harass you or try to accuse you and stuff. You know what I mean? Especially when you give yourself a standing and do stuff every once in a while out in the open, so that you can't be accused. Live your life so you can't be accused. These people will actually get madder at you, and they'll even play games like all of a sudden, you know, like I said before, third-party harassment. You ain't saying all police are like that, but all of a sudden you'll get patted down on the street in middle of the afternoon and say, somebody called and said you were roaming the streets drunk. And yes, there are people that do it. They catch them all the time, but it's also a code for fill in the blanks. Somebody's pissed at you and you feel a stereotype, you're being profiled. Whether it's somebody you look like me or if you're profiled because you're another skin color and you have dreads. It's you know what I mean? It's when people come to you for that, and it's like shit like that going on, you know what I mean, too. And to this day, you know, when it happened to me once, I was on my way to buy 4 jugs of milk that I carry every every other day, you know, because it's like carrying a kettlebell, you know, you must do it anyways. But ever since that day, for some reason, I have a thing where, for some odd reason, I want to do that more often, because it marked the time where I was already. I end up going to get my milk, and I told a neighbor that was at the store, "Yeah, you know what just happened? What the fuck kind of, what the fuck son of a bitch deliberately decided to say something to make the cops mad to get them to come out?" That's what people do. So you can't say that the police are out to get you every single time either. So you've got situations where, hey, they don't give a, in your neighborhood, say they don't give a damn, they never bothered you before. You know that there's somebody that they want to bring you down and give you a criminal record. Maybe they're hoping to exempt you from, get you exempted from some kind of activities that you're able to do, and which require a background check. You know, you're able to do every year, and they could be trying to harm you, or they're hoping that the sweeps that authorities do anyway, surprise sweeps, whether it's in cars or on foot, that they're catching people, that they're hoping that you get caught and say, hey, look at him, he got, oh wow, you know, that's the shit that people do. They do it in hope. And yes, there is, what do you call it, the secret informants that they'll either come to you in the street and ask you if you want to buy drugs, or if you have drugs, you know, while they're saying, do you smoke, you a cigarette, you know. Not that they're all like that, but that's why I don't mix with stuff like that. But yeah, like since the one of those deals, you know, where you have that shit happen, and then it's marked a turning point, so you go and walk around with a smirk on your face and start buying more milk more often, and walking around for some odd reason. If you would ask Dr. Phil such a thing, though, he'd call it a psychological term, where whatever he wants to say, I got a couple of other things that I'm guessing that he might say psychologically about that he might write, but that takes a whole new video to explain. But I could admit to you right there that I have a thing that if you have a particular thing that would happen one time, like it's not going to happen again. It's not like they're out to do it to you all the time. Yeah, you'll mark that psychologically with a thing and start doing more of a thing. Just like walk around more often, find more excuses to go somewhere to buy milk, you know, and which, you know, do a certain thing, which is a way safer thing to do than other immature things that people can do that can later make things worse and get you thrown in jail, you know. Like that if you have kind of like a superior intelligence and you like to use your head, like even my natural father said about using your head instead of just, you know, doing something. And people know this. You don't have no record, you know, and people want to do something I don't care if it's somebody from the workplace. They hate you and they want to, if they don't want to beat you up or have somebody beat you up, they want to get you thrown in jail, or they have a secret hate for you that they would like to have you thrown in jail just because anything that you say intelligent to them or call bullshit to, they call it challenging and confrontational. So this is the meaning of, the twisted meaning of taking responsibility is the code for laying down and taking it. But that does not mean that you can be an asshole either and do stupid shit either. There is people that think they can do whatever they please do and treat people any way they want. They're exposed for who they are. But that's how, that's self-explanatory.